Thank you for watching this video about 1972, the year in crappy music. Before we start, I want to plug the Patreon. For $2 a month, you get access to my Discord server. For $5 a month, you get early access to the videos. And if we get to $400 a month, I will rank every year-end number 4. I want to give a shout out to the new $2 patrons, Joe Monkeyman and Ghosty. Thank you for joining us. If you want to get a shout out in the next video, click the link below. Alright, let's look at some bad 70s music. We haven't been back to the 70s in a while. So why not check out one of its most eventful years, 1972. That was a year of happenings. Behind the Music described it as a year when idealism turned to cynicism, and that's what it felt like. The turbulence of the late 60s led to a gritty time for pop culture, which is especially present on Billboard. But we gotta wait until later for that because there's another part of 1972 we have to get to first. Baby, don't get hooked on me. That would be the kitschy part, the wimpy part, the mushy part. Whatever you want to call it, it's the shitty part of the 70s. When music wasn't just bad, it was cringe. So much so that I'm going to challenge myself again by trying not to use that word for the rest of the video. That said, I know I'm going to get some people who are going to disagree with me, so let me remind you, these are only my opinions. And for the duration of this video, they will be the only opinions that matter. So fuck your opinion, we're taking a look at... Why don't we start off with a softball target? Oh yeah, Grand Funk Railroad. You guys hate Grand Funk, right? Wait, nobody remembers Grand Funk? The banal macho posturing lyrics of Mark Farner? The ow my freaking ears bass of Mel Schlosser? The competent drum work of Don Brewer? Oh man! Okay, well, Grand Funk Railroad are, as the name of their biggest hit suggests, an American band. In fact, they're named after the Grand Trunk Western Railroad, which goes through their hometown of Flint, Michigan. In terms of rock bands, these were the lamers that everyone picked on before Styx got here. To put it in more modern terms, they were the Nickelback or the Imagine Dragons of the early 70s. Simply put, Grand Funk may have been big, but people hated them. Even back then. And why wouldn't they? This is just generic blah. It doesn't rock, it doesn't roll, and I ain't hearing any soul in here. It's all just processed butt rock. Nickelback of the early 70s. Yeah, I can't put it better myself. If you want to learn more about Grand Funk, consult your local classic rock station. If the DJ sounds more dead inside than usual, it means you're about to hear some Grand Funk. I wish I didn't have to fill this list with this kind of stuff, but goddamn, the early 70s were quite a time for bland shit. Long time gone away from me. Alright, some info here. This is Beverly Breemers. She was a Broadway actress in the late 60s, having played Chrissy in the original run of Hair. We'll be together, happy forever. In 1972, she decided to make us music. So she put out an album called I'll Make You Music. And in this single, she does indeed make us music. I'll make you music, I'll give you sunshine. Specifically Partridge Family music. Like, this sounds like the theme song, but slowed down a bit. And it's funny I mentioned that, considering there was an actual Partridge on the chart that week. Rock me. I could have had it on here, but nah. Even the Partridge Family wasn't the worst version of the Partridge Family in 1972. Also, David Cassidy is actually pretty good.
You can go away from me, but you can never hide.
Anyway, this is about how, well, you're gone, but please come back, and if you do, I'll make you like music and sunshine and rainbows and junk.
Lots of fine music, just like we always do.
This is just bland all around, and in such a crowded era for bland shit, just simply being bland isn't gonna do it. She may have made us music, but she might as well not have. You know what genre, try as it might, could not survive the early 70s? AM Gold.
It's a beautiful day.
Mostly because it was mush music that nobody liked to begin with, but it also had more to do with the FM band gaining prominence and eventually becoming the place to go for music that actually mattered. But AM radio still hung in there throughout the decade. You could tune in any music radio station on the dial and get schlock like this.
Who draws the crowd and plays so loud, baby? It's the guitar man.
That's right, the Guitar Man. You know, the man with the guitar. And he's here to make it all guitar-like.
He will bring you down and he'll get you high.
Yeah, high on what? Exactly. So let's listen to the Guitar Man do his thing on the guitar. Wow, that sure is guitar.
You want to get the meaning out of each and every song.
That's funny that you talk about meaning, because this brings us to what I think is the problem here. Who in 1972 gets their guitar fix from fucking bread?
Who's on the radio? You go listen to the guitar man.
These guys. These softiest of all soft rock softies. Even their name is soft. Bread? This is what you're gonna call yourselves? It's like they were thinking, what's a name that's gonna let everyone know that we're white and our music is pure fluff? Oh, how about bread? Brilliant!
Got to find another place to play.
This just sucks. You've heard of the greatest thing since sliced bread? This bread isn't even sliced. Just a mushy loaf with white fluff and no substance. We've gone from making music to believing in music. And it's still bland shit.
As long as I'm making my music, ain't gonna do nobody no harm.
Yeah, I guess you're not really harming me. You're just boring me. Which is probably considered a form of harm, so...
To make people wanna stop all the fussing and fighting.
Yeah, music makes people want to fuss and fight. Or don't fuss and fight, whatever you prefer.
Music is love and love is music, if you know what I mean.
Music is love. Music is life. Life is game. You see how this is all bland shit, right?
Oh, I believe in love.
Like, my God, these are some of the blandest lyrics around. And because I have no shame, I'm gonna read from a YouTube description. A song from 1972 that brings you back to a better time, when songs had meaning and the songs were about good things in life. The ambience of the 1960s and early 1970s was filled with these songs and reflect the times. The art is the expression of the times. This is what we listened to back then. This is what you listened to.
Music is a universal language and love is the key.
Well, people in 1972, if this is what you consider meaningful and good, then let me tell you, these next 50 years are gonna blow your mind.
I believe in music. Oh,
Oh, baby, don't
boy, we've got a clown show for you.
I'm up on a tightrope. One side's hate and one is hope.
I mean that literally. We have a circus theme song about how I'm on the tightrope and one side's bad stuff and one side's good stuff. Ordinarily, I would like songs that say one thing and then the opposite.
I'm up in the spotlight.
Well, anyway, this track starts off his 1972 album Carney. As you probably would have guessed, this is a concept album, and the theme is there is two sides to the circus of life. One's a lie and one's the truth, or some shit like that. I haven't listened to it. I can't say if it does the concept well. I can barely get past how similar he sounds to Randy Newman.
Boy, you got a friend in me.
And I don't outright dislike Randy Newman. He has made some good songs, many of them for Toy Story movies. But his voice is so irritating.
It's me and you, boy. And as the years go by,
Just this boop crap. That's only tolerable for a maximum of one song, and then it gets tedious immediately. And with this guy, I'm already ready to not hear a second song from him.
And the wire seems to be the only place.
But who knows? Maybe the album is actually good. It was the first one to contain a hit, even though it kinda sucks. He did have quite a lot of accomplishments in rock history, and he's a Hall of Famer, so he had all that going for him. Maybe I'll walk that tightrope someday, but probably not. I suck at balancing anyway. And now let's pause to look at some 1972 commercials.
America's waking up to a great breakfast idea.
Frosted mini wheats from Kellogg's.
Oh, they're grand and glorious cereals, made from golden wheat. Oh, they're all-American sugar, cinnamon, frosted mini wheat.
2 flavors, plain sugar frosting
Or brown sugar cinnamon.
and a great little size.
And fortified with 4 essential B vitamins.
Oh, they're all-American sugar, cinnamon, frosted mini wheat.
What do you think of these boots?
They're nice.
No, really.
They're really nice.
They're Florsheim, you know.
I didn't know.
Best fitting boots I've ever owned.
Right.
Is that kid skin soft? They're even lined with kid skin.
I'll take your word for it.
Hey, would you pay $50 for them?
Yeah, sure.
I paid $39.95 at Florsheim. Now that's value. Believe me, I don't throw my money around.
I believe you.
The Sultan by Florsheim, $39.95.
Alright, we've seen some 1972 ads. Now let's get back to 1972 tunes. There were a handful of covers on the charts that week, but we're going to start with a cover of a song that was on the charts that week.
With pen in hand, you sign your name.
This is With Pen in Hand by Dorothy Moore. It's about divorce. Specifically, if you sign the divorce paper, I'll be gone, just like you wished. Nice soulful sounding song, and the lyrical themes of divorce are interesting. Here's the original.
With pen in hand, you sign your name.
This guy is Bobby Goldsboro. He had a hit in the late 60s with Honey.
And honey, I miss you.
Without getting into too much detail, it's one of the stupidest songs about death ever made. And now he's gonna tackle divorce. Okay, let's hear it, Bobby.
Can you take good care of Johnny?
Oh, so he's trying to make sure their kid's alright.
And keep all those bullies away.
Oh, Bobby, you're about to learn a tough lesson. Children of divorce become the bullies.
Can you tell him about the man in the moon?
That movie won't be out for like 19 years, but sure.
Then maybe he won't miss me.
You know, this is missing something. Let's get back to that cover version.
And what about our little Susie? Have you stopped to think about her?
Here she starts it off with an intro. Kitschy, yeah, but it does a nice job setting up the story, and there's some emotion in there.
I'll be on that train.
Here, nothing. Just Bobby and his dumb voice plodding along while he strums. There's also this part here.
Mama, don't leave. Well, I got to go in.
That's a little skit with the mother and daughter saying goodbye. Again, kitschy, but again, you get a sense of emotion.
If you think that the good times...
Nothing like that here. It's just more blandness. That makes it one of those instances where the cover is better than the original. You know how I know? Whenever I Google the lyrics, it's always Dorothy Moore's version that shows up, even though, as far as I know, it never charted. And this is one instance where I agree with Google. Go listen to that instead. Speaking as a white man, we as a race have given Native Americans more shit than I probably realized.
They put Geronimo in jail down south, where he couldn't look the gift horse in the mouth.
And I'm finding a lot of it in the music of the early days of Billboard.
Indian maid, little white dove.
Especially the early 60s, where blatantly racist shit like this was topping the charts a copious amount of times. Although I wouldn't really call this one racist. It's more ignorant.
Whoa, boy, take me back. I wanna ride in Geronimo's Cadillac.
Michael Murphy said he wrote this song after seeing a picture of Geronimo, who, for those who don't know, was a well-known and well-respected medicine man in a Cadillac. I mean, I know it's an iconic portrait, but is that it?
Took all that land and they won't give it back. Sent Geronimo a Cadillac.
Yeah, actually, that's all it is. His way of honoring the natives of the land we stole from them is, man, I wish I could ride in his cool car.
I wanna ride in Geronimo's Cadillac.
Look, I know he means well, probably, but we're gonna have to have this conversation eventually, so we might as well start now. Positive stereotypes are still stereotypes.
I wanna ride in Geronimo's Cadillac.
Like, even if you mean what you say as a good thing, it matters not. It's still a joke. That's what this song is, a stupid two-faced joke song. Right off a cliff. Let's get back to covers.
I know why birds suddenly appear.
There are a couple of soul covers I noticed on the charts that week, like this Carpenter's cover. It's fine, I mean, I wouldn't take it over the original, but it's a pretty interesting take on it. But then there's this one. Oh boy.
Where it began.
Alright, before we launch into it, let's take a look at the original by Neil Diamond. Now, this song holds a special place in my heart, for one reason only. And that reason is I fucking hate this song.
Good times never seem so good.
I hate this song. Hate it, hate it, hate it. I didn't care for it at first, but after being at so many parties and weddings and gatherings and dances, hearing all the drunken idiots going bum 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 and so good, so good, so good, fuck this.
To believe that they never would.
Okay, but this is Bobby Womack, right? The guy was a pioneer of soul and R&B. He was prolific and influential. Maybe I'm not being fair to him. Let's see how he does this one.
And spring became a summer.
Yeah, it still sounds lame. Never mind, let's fast forward through the bullshit and get to that one part.
Sweet Caroline, the good time never seems so good. I'm a true believer that.
Oh, wow. Wow. He made it worse.
The good time, they never felt so good.
My God, it's like he captured the annoying drunks. It's like I don't even have to be outside. Because I can be annoyed right at home.
The good time thing never seems so good.
And you know what? I actually consider this an honor to the late great. Because anyone can make a good song suck. But it takes a legend like Bobby Womack to take an already bad song and make it suck a little bit more. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. It ain't a list of cursed 70s relics without little Donny Osmond. This peaked at number 13. Here's where you make up your own joke. Alright, so this is a cover of some old Frankie Avalon song.
I'll always love you so. Why? Because you love me.
So, you know, we're continuing this trend of bad songs being covered because that song sucks too. Not surprisingly, so does this cover.
I love you, and you love me all the time.
And it comes down to his fucking voice. With all due respect, Justin Bieber at 13 will never sound worse than Donny Osmond's cutie pie puke voice. Donny Osmond is what teen idols are to everyone who hates teen idols.
This kid fell out of Donny Osmond's pussy. Did not.
In F is for Family, which is a show I highly recommend, he's used as the go-to example for shitty bubblegum pop. Because why wouldn't he be? So with all that said, why is this all the way at number 2? Guess what? There's another one. Oh yes! This is one of those double A sides that used to fuck with the charts back in the day. So you get 2 sucky Donny Osmond songs for the price of 1. I mean, the songs both suck in very similar ways, and he still has that stupid fucking voice, but there's 2. You heard of Pizza Pizza? Well, this is piece of shit. And now here's more crap you can get for the price of 1. Don't forget about the rest of the Osmonds. They suck too. No, I don't hate Rod Stewart. There are a handful of his songs I liked. Maggie May is one. That's pretty cool. This, though, is like Maggie May, but less. Also, in terms of songs named You Wear It Well, DeBarge did it a lot better. Cher was just kind of boring when she wasn't doing TV stuff.
If you leave me tonight, I will cry.
Alright then, see ya! The Bee Gees were just kind of boring when they weren't doing disco.
Baby, I love you to want me.
I shouldn't need to say it, but Cheap Trick did this better. I mean, I don't really dislike this song. It is Carlos during his peak years. But as good as this song is, the lyrics always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, I don't know. This song sounds like domestic abuse in the same way that Blurred Lines sounds like rape. I almost expect him to tell her to get back in the kitchen and make his damn sandwich already. Still, it is a good song, I guess. But we were supposed to be talking about shitty music. So why don't we go to the shittiest of them all?
My biggest mistake was loving you too much and letting you know. Now you got me where you want me.
So I call this section Fuck You because it's funny to me. But I'll level with you. There are a handful of things I put in here that don't really make me say fuck you, but I just go with it anyway because it's the least good to me, which is usually reason enough. So it's been a while since we had a song that, like, really deserved that giant scream of fuck you that precedes it. Get your middle fingers ready, everyone. You're gonna need them.
In order to form a more perfect union.
Okay, so we have a song about life in the land of America. Sounds like it could be one of those hippie protest songs.
A piece of paper says they'll start a new life.
Oh, so this is a song about marriage, huh? A piece of paper says you're family now. And that's the theme that keeps going through the song. Lots of big choices involve a piece of paper. Well, let's keep going.
Religion will cost a man 1/10 of his gold. A piece of paper says he's redeemed his soul.
Okay, so he's taking shots at how churches use the gullible nature of fools to part them from their money. Sticking it to televangelists. Ooh, how progressive.
You know paper is only paper.
Alright, I lied. I'm just putting the least good song at number 1 again, because the production is so generic and blah and boring that it might as well not exist. And that whole thing about a piece of paper, come on, try harder.
Some folks live by others' paper.
Also, hippie music was on its way out in the early 70s, so this showed up way too late to be relevant. But as blah as this song is, it doesn't really deserve that giant scream of fuck you. Right?
So in order to form a more perfect union, a legal abortion, so the family won't know.
What?
A piece of paper says the problem won't grow.
A
piece of paper makes it all right.
fuck are you doing? No, really? What the fuck are you doing?
A legal abortion, so the family won't know.
Let's keep something in mind. This is 1972, the year of the women's liberation movement that eventually led to Roe v. Wade. You know, the landmark case that gave women the right to their bodies and is probably going to get erased from the country after Republicans take the House and Senate because Democrats allow this kind of bullshit.
A piece of paper says the problem won't grow.
And here's this song on the list of the 100 songs that people were listening to and consuming the most that week that's outright shaming you for killing your baby. Show of hands, who saw that train records on Arrested Development?
Not lust, had love, had trust. The decision should have been made by the both of us. But you got an abortion.
Yeah, that song is those 3 lines stretched out to 3 minutes. And I can hear some of you coming at me being like, oh, you seem pretty quick to judge. Maybe he actually supports abortion, or maybe he's just putting it out there.
A legal abortion.
Alright, well, if that's the case, my question is this. Was there any reason to bring it up out of nowhere? I know better than to assume how things were in years I wasn't even alive for, but I'm pretty sure no one in 1972 was clamoring for opinions on abortion from some guy who looks like this.
Makes it all right.
So you know what? I don't give a fuck what his stance on abortion is. He should have said nothing at all. You know how some people talk about things that you think would be easy to, like, not do? This is one of them. And we still have more song left. What's next?
In order to form a more perfect union, a country will call on its young men to fight. A piece of paper says it's all right to die.
How is this actively getting worse?
A piece of paper says it's all right to die.
So, right after you rail against abortion, you're gonna go anti-war and take on the draft? First off, pick a lane. Second, this is 1972. Nixon started pulling out of Vietnam for no reason other than to play a political stunt. And here's this fucking song.
A piece of paper makes it all.
Now, I'm gonna say something here. Usually when there isn't a proper video, I try to find live footage or a live cover or whatever. I have scoured YouTube, and I found zero footage of this song being performed or this band playing live.
And you know people, well, they try to be good.
And I wouldn't say anything about it, but having dived into this dumpster fire of a song, I am not surprised at all. This is the kind of shit that people get ashamed of.
A piece of paper says it's all right to die.
I did, however, find a comment that says that the record label they were signed to decided to pass him over in favor of Steely Dan, which, You know, I bash on record labels a lot on this channel, but I'm gonna call it what it is. A rare instance of a record label being right about something.
A piece of paper says it's all.
Yeah, I guess I really went off on a tangent with this one. Which brings us back to the fuck you. Did this song deserve it? Oh, yes, it does. This song is mocking its audience. He's up there saying, ooh, look at this piece of paper that runs your life. Well, I got a little piece of paper for you. It tells you where you gotta go, which is fuck yourself, and when you gotta go, which is now. Bye-bye.